Today, in our Spotlight segment, we're focusing on how iCapital partners with RIA clients to help them grow their business and access alternatives. And joining me for that discussion is iCapital Head of Alternative Investment Distribution, James Costabile. James, thanks for coming by today.
It's really great to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
It's good to see you. So let's get to it. Tell me about your role at iCapital. What does the Head of Alternative Distribution mean, and what are you and your team focused on?
Yeah, we spend 100% of our time with independent broker-dealers and RIAs. And in that journey, right, we're educating them on the merits of alternative investments across private equity, private credit, real assets, and hedge funds. We're working with them to understand their practice. People understanding an asset class is very different than understanding the nuances of the product, so we spend a lot of our time on product education. And we want to make sure that the experience that an advisor has when they're doing business with iCapital is a great one.
You know, I hear this a lot, that a lot of people are focused on education and they're focused on their RIA channel, but what are the keys to success, to your success in advising RIA clients on alternatives?
We spend a lot of our time understanding how the advisor is thinking about alts, what their past experience was around alternative investments. Was it good? Was it bad? Were there asset classes that they had a negative experience with, just to try to educate them on maybe it's worth giving it another shot? And so much of it is really about understanding kind of perspective, understanding the client base, right? So what we often find in alternative investments is that clients have made their money in private businesses and they identify with private equity, maybe more so than they identify with traditional equity. Mm-hmm. So it's like really understanding that practice, being objective, and hopefully being a trusted partner.
Right. So let's do a little role play.
Yeah.
I'm an RIA client now, so I come to you, and why should I work with iCapital when it comes to alternatives? Because there are a few other options.
iCapital has been servicing registered investment advisors more than 10 years. So we've done it a really, really long time. We've been really, really good at it. I think what differentiates iCapital is it's not just the technology, right, of implementation, but it's the asset allocation tools, right, through Architect. How do you take a portfolio, right, of stocks and bonds and then begin to integrate alternative investments into that practice? But given the limited track record of alternative investments, in some cases, show the client a snapshot of how it would have performed when there was a financial crisis or there was a liquidity squeeze in the market. Our Architect tool allows people to do that in a way that other tools in the market don't, that are using largely index returns relative to individual manager returns. Our ability to allow a financial advisor to customize their thoughts in a custom offering, a fund, where they pick and choose the managers that they want to include in it, and iCapital manages that portfolio administratively for them. And we work with more than 350 general partners in the space, so access to high quality talent isn't an issue, and we make that available through our marketplace, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point later.
Right. So you mentioned Architect, which is one of the differentiated tools in the marketplace. Any other ones that you would mention that advisors can access elsewhere but iCapital?
AI Insight in particular is another tool. It's not just the asset class that I mentioned before, it's the product level education. And for those RIAs that are out now acquiring other RIAs, now all of a sudden they went from being a small business to a much bigger business, and they need scale and need to demonstrate in many cases to the regulators that they actually have adequately trained their teams. And so AI Insight, right, which is one of our businesses, helps people at an asset class level, at a product level, but it becomes very important, I think, when you're ensuring that there's adequate compliance and controls in that channel.
So I'm still that same advisor. I'm now convinced that I need alternatives. I can come to iCapital for the technology education and support. Where and how can I access alternatives within iCapital?
We launched our flagship marketplace earlier in the year, and it has more than 150 different offerings. That number will continue to grow. And what it really does is it makes it really easy for an RIA to come to our website where they have full technology, which is implementation, all of the materials in a single place, the ability to fully transact, on that, what we call our tile. That tile has within it our research and due diligence report to the extent that we've actually followed that manager. It actually has all of the underlying materials from the manager that are there. We also are we have chat features right inside of our technology that allow us to effectively IM with the GPs themselves to ask questions, as well as our individual sales team. So I think the technology is in marketplace is continuing to get better and more robust, and the offering itself I think will only continue to grow. And so for advisors that want to have all of their information in one place and apply that client profile to multiple offerings to create scale in their business, it's really going to be, I think, really interesting. I would say something that we're going to be launching later in the year is really around our model portfolios, which we think is particularly exciting.
So technology is important, product access is important, model portfolio is important, but so is support, just investor support. So tell us, what is the sales support, the investor support model that we have for our RIA clients?
We have great partnerships with our GPs, right? Because they're the ones that at the end of the day are going to be the product experts. We have a research team that's probably one of the largest out in the marketplace that is willing to get on the phone and speak to our RIA clients about the various products that they've actually covered. We have a sales team of 30, right, when you include our internal desk and our national accounts team. And on top of that, we have a large investor relations team that walks through the sub-doc completion process, the registration process, and how to actually do business with iCapital. There are very few, organizations that have that level of scale. So, we're very excited about our existing RIAs, but look forward to doing business with more new ones as well.
James, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us and for shining the light on how iCapital partners with our RIA clients and truly offers a comprehensive one-stop solution for all of their alternative needs. Thank you. And please don't forget, we're also taking your questions, so send them to us at yourquestion@icapitalnetwork.com. I'm Anastasia Amoroso, and thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time on Beyond 6040.